Okay, so just a quick message to any subscribers to my channel who click on this video. It's nothing to do with music or guitar stuff that you're used to seeing. This is purely for college purposes. It's a video presentation. Okay, so you guys might find it a little bit boring, but for the benefit of the college, this is my graded Unit 2 presentation for the HND Fitness, Health and Exercise. Okay, so I'm just going to flick the video around to show you what I'm on here. So this is my graded unit PowerPoint. Where are we? Yeah, so we're going to begin with the methodology and approach. Okay, so to gather qualitative information, I actually put together a questionnaire, and this was for my client. This whole graded unit is based on client one from the 4 clients that I had in the HND. So the questionnaire prior to this interview here was actually, it consisted of questions to do with their lifestyle. Um, do they smoke? Do they drink? What they do when they socialise? Things like this. Some of these questions would actually seem like they're not relevant to you know an intervention with their diet or exercise, but they actually are. Um, you have to take a person's lifestyle into consideration before you design an exercise program for them and a diet intervention. And the reason for this is because if someone has a really busy lifestyle, they cannot always fit in the days of the week that you've put together a program for them. And if they live, for example, if they live very close to fast food places, such as like McDonald's or Pizza Hut, whatever, these can be the types of places that they eat, which obviously wouldn't be good for somebody who is trying to eat healthier or, you know, lose weight, etc. So this questionnaire was designed for that, just to sort of paint a picture for me, what sort of lifestyle they lead. And throughout the questionnaire, we try to gather as much information that is relative to it as possible, but come time for the interview, it is the time you can really sort of suss out, are they telling the truth? You ask questions that are on the questionnaire, and sometimes you might find there's slightly different answers coming back face to face, or more in-depth answers as opposed to different, because when someone's in front of you, obviously they can open up more, or it goes the opposite way and they actually hide some more things. But the interview was basically where I gathered most of the qualitative information, and that went very well for me. I took some notes on what was relevant. The quantitative information, I have to say that word slowly. This involved taking weight measurements, limb girth measurements. There was also other tests done at the same time, which was more primary data, so flexibility and fitness tests, and this was post interview. So the secondary information that I gathered in my methodology was basically just visiting websites, doing some background uh, research on what the healthy norms are for someone's age and weight, etc. And obviously, I put that with the age and weight of my client. So yeah, that was basically how the methodology part went. Um, Moving on, we sort of discovered my client's goals changed from what he had originally set out to do. In fact, I'll show you this. The original client goals, okay, right here, was to lose some weight and build strength. Okay, so this is obviously prior to the 12-week intervention. Um, and when the 12-week intervention began, the goals changed. So basically, the new goals for him was to focus on strength alone, and if weight loss could happen along the way, then he seen that as a bonus. However, after the tests that I put the client through, it showed me that he really should focus on weight loss as his health was going to deteriorate, and it could potentially be dangerous for him as he was overweight. So this was something that I really had to consider and kind of tackle on the spot. You have to consider how you approach this. You can't just say to a client, no, you are going to lose weight. Um, you have to sort of introduce the reasons why and paint the picture of how important it is. So this is what I did at the beginning of the 12 weeks intervention. So I basically put it to my client that it would be in his best interest to include cardiovascular training with the strength training, and this would help him achieve the sort of best of both worlds. So yeah, the first 4 weeks actually went extremely well because he took this on board, and we decided to include some high intensity interval training at the end of each weightlifting session. So uh, this would mean that the high intensity interval training, cardiovascular, would help him burn calories, and it would be like the final sort of burnout after he'd lifted weights, because he wanted to build strength, which meant lifting heavy weights, which would also require a lot of energy. So we did that at the start and the middle, and then we finished up with cardiovascular. Um, so yeah, after a few weeks of progressing, okay, we actually discovered my client was stronger than he thought he was. He didn't give himself as much credit as he should have, because originally we imagined he would lift about 40 kilograms, for example, on a deadlift, and he went on to lift 60 kilograms. He was a lot stronger than he thought. And I actually put that down to confidence. I gathered from the interview face to face he wasn't the most confident person. So weeks 5 and 6 was actually a deload week, which basically just means that um, you cut back the amount of weight that you're lifting and basically give the muscles a chance to repair whilst they're still getting a little bit of a workout. So I put him through deload in weeks 5 and 6, and from weeks 7 to 9 we actually had holidays interruption. So this was due to just basically with the college, because this intervention happened in college time. It was uh, during the Easter break. That's when it happened. So this kind of gave him a setback. He went back into his old ways of poor eating habits and less to no exercise, which kind of set him back a little bit when he came back. However, weeks 10 to 12, he actually made further progress, and his strength came straight back. So that was a great bonus. So right here I'm going to show you the charts of what actually happened to his weight. So in the beginning we have 87.9 kilograms was his weight. Halfway through, around 6 weeks, he'd actually just climbed by a pound to 88 kilograms. And by the end of the intervention, he was actually heavier at 89 kilograms. So this is because when you're building muscle mass, even though you're burning fat from the cardio, etc., that it's kind of counterbalanced with the muscle mass weight. So this took him to 89 kilograms, but the plus side is he was healthier because he had burned body fat percentage down. Um, so yeah, moving on, he actually, over the full 12 weeks, he achieved his goals to build strength. Um, there was from week 1 to week 12 a total of 30 kilograms increase in the weight that he was lifting. So this is on his compound movements from bench press to the deadlift and the squat. 30 kilograms of difference between them all. And so yeah, to move on to the conclusions. So my client reach their goals. Absolutely, yes. He improved his strength by, as I say, the 30 kilograms in weightlifting. He enjoyed the journey from beginning to end, most definitely. He actually asked a lot of questions throughout the intervention. He asked me for advice, etc. And he showed a genuine interest in it, so I believe he enjoyed it. Um, he definitely felt a positive difference in himself from very early on the program, and he now after the 12-week intervention he does feel like he will continue to live this healthier lifestyle. So, just moving down to the next slide. And yeah, so the recommendations, right here it says, would my client recommend a friend or family member to me as a PT? And he agrees that, if there's any friends or family wanting to change their lifestyle, get in shape, he would recommend them to me. He would also like to do further PT sessions together in the third year of college. And he actually learned a few valuable things throughout the sessions. As I say, he would ask a lot of questions, and we would get into the science of exercise, etc., and how it affects the body. Um, and was the intervention period long enough for my client to meet their goals? It was long enough, yeah. 12 weeks is long enough for anybody to make significant change in uh, their appearance, their strength, their fitness, So this basically concluded it as a successful 12-week intervention. And that takes me to the end of this presentation, running into 12 minutes. A little bit too long, but thank you for listening.